Hi everyone, a quick summary about the 10 retinal layers. Starting off, first of all, we have the retinal pigment epithelium. Right here you can see. After retinal pigment epithelium, we have rods and cones outer segment, which is the photosensitive part only. So this comprises the second layer, right? Photosensitive part, which is the outer segment only. Then we have this region in towards our like inner segment of rods and cones, we have Muller cells which hold them all together. So that's the function of Muller cell, to keep these rods and cones fixated and held together and to prevent short circuit. So this forms the outer limiting lamina. Why outer? Because this is the outer part, right? This is the inner part. So it's outer limiting lamina formed by the Muller cells holding the inner segment of rods and cones together. So this is our third layer. After that, you have your outer nuclear layer. Why outer? Because it's outer part. Why nuclear? Because they're nuclei of rods and cones, the photoreceptor cells. So you have retinal pigment epithelium, then the photosensitive part of rods and cones, their outer segment, then outer limiting lamina, then you have outer nuclear layer, then you have the outer plexiform layer, outer plexiform layer. So here are the five layers to finish, and these are supplied by the choriocapillaries here, which are basically a continuation of posterior ciliary artery. So these choriocapillaries, it supplies these five layers: retinal pigment epithelium, photosensitive part of rods and cones, outer limiting lamina, then outer nuclear layer, then you have outer plexiform layer, then you have the inner nuclear layer. See, now, in the inner nuclear layer, you have nuclei of bipolar cells, Muller cells, interplexiform cells, microglial cells, then amacrine cells, horizontal cells. So all of these. Here in the outer nuclear layer, you just had the nuclei of photoreceptor cells, but here you have nuclei of everything in the inner nuclear layer. So after inner nuclear layer, you have inner plexiform layer, right? So inner nuclear and inner plexiform. After inner plexiform, you have ganglions. Then you have the nerve fibers, and after the nerve fibers, you have, see, these are the nerve fibers, right? And they continue further. After that, you have the inner limiting lamina. Inner limiting lamina is formed by, again, the Muller cells. Now, Muller cells form both the outer limiting lamina and inner limiting lamina. So it has two extensions. The one that's going towards the outer side, it forms outer limiting lamina, and the one that's going towards the inner side, it forms foot plates. These foot plates basically form the entire inner limiting lamina. So these are the 10 layers: retinal pigment epithelium, then the photoreceptor part, photosensitive part of rods and cones, which is the outer segment, then the inner segment. There we have Muller cells forming outer limiting lamina. Then you have outer nuclear layer, outer plexiform layer, inner nuclear layer, inner plexiform layer, ganglion, nerve fibers, and you have inner limiting lamina. So those are the 10 layers of the retina. Thank you so much.